We're live. Okay. I'm gonna sit down. And we're all sort of in the camera. Okay. And let's see if it'll pop up here on our page. Here we are. All right. And our sound.
Sound check.
Sound check, sound check.
1, 2, 3.
Right.
Oh, it's not coming here. Yes, now it is. Okay. Took my phone a minute to tune in. All right. So hello and welcome back to another episode of WCN Live here in our Wilson County News Break Room on Facebook. We're glad to have you back for another episode. I'm Julia, your usual host, the Marketing and Social Media Specialist.
Hi, I'm Kristen Weaver, Director of Operations.
And today we are joined by...
Hi, my name is Debbie Grams, and I'm a volunteer at the Elmendorf Community Library.
And I'm Darlene Hicks, and I'm president and volunteer at Elmendorf Community Library.
Awesome.
Glad to
and
have
so,
you.
yeah, today we're going to be talking all about Elmendorf Community Library. You may recognize them from some episodes on the press room and WCN Live in the past, but they're going to be talking all about how they're kicking off summer this year. Y'all are starting with a bang, huh?
We are.
Lots of
Really
fun
are.
plans.
Good.
And so today's conversation is sponsored by Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep.
Wow.
Wow. Tongue
It's a
twister.
mouthful.
I'm always impressed with how well you say it, usually.
Yes, usually I'm a little
Yes.
better at saying
Mhm.
Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep
There
in
you go.
Floresville. They are hiring for all positions, and they're open at their new facilities located on Highway 181 South. So they welcome y'all to stop on in to shop for cars or careers. You can also do
Mhm.
that at their website, pricecdrj.com, which is linked in this video's description. They're also tagged, so you'll be able to find them and all of their cool stuff. The Elmendorf Community Library, who we're talking with today, is also tagged in this video's description. So definitely feel free to visit them on Facebook or at their website, which we'll be talking about, and at their location after this conversation. But here's a reminder to comment on this video while we're live. You can ask us questions to be answered. You can tell us hi. Let us know you're enjoying the conversation. Leave an emoji, anything, and you'll be automatically entered to win a drawing for next week. So this is called our comment contest, and right now, would one of you lovely ladies like to draw the comment contest winner whose comment on last week's video will win them a prize today?
Go ahead. You want?
Go ahead. All right. One of
So
us, huh?
courteous.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's
So you
see
think
who
to mix it
won. Alright, and oh my gosh, I can't unfold it. Our winner is Lana Flores Summers. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Lana, if you're watching today, be looking out for a Facebook message from me, Julia, on Facebook to detail how to pick up your prize, which is a C Street Gift Shop gift bag. So for future reference, that is the usual prize on here. Occasionally our guests will donate prizes, and as always, the prize will always be available to pick up at the Wilson County News offices. So super fun little promo that we have
That's
here,
neat.
encouraging y'all to comment, get involved in the conversation. So again, thank you, Lana Flores Summers, for your participation in last week's video. If you know her, tag her and let her know that she won. And as always, leave your comments so that you have a chance to win during next week's drawing. All right. So, now that we've gotten all that fun stuff out of the way, let's get into this conversation. So we kind of started out with who you each are and what you do. Let's kind of go over that again. Who are you? Where are you from? What community do you live in? And what do you do with the Elmendorf Community Library?
You want me to
Okay,
start?
go ahead.
My name is Debbie Grams, and I am associated with the library. I was a employee of East Central School District for over 35 years and had many positions. I ended up being a principal
Wow.
at Harmony Elementary, and my students lived in the Elmendorf community. I've also been friends with Darlene since 9th grade.
I know, I love y'all's story.
That's
Which
how,
is going to be 1972.
Right.
January
Wow.
30th.
So that's how how I became interested in the library. I'm at the library, I'm a volunteer, but I've had many positions. One of the co-founders along with Darlene, and then currently right now, I'm the vice president. And my heart is always about is our children programming.
Mhm.
So that's why this summer is really exciting to me.
Debbie's
Yeah.
really big into the reading, that she's always been, she's been a teacher of reading and such as that, so
Sweet.
the reading is really hers. And she's also very crafty and thinks of all these nice programs for the kids. You know, we have it where we just don't come and read a book to them. We do crafts with them afterwards. We try to teach them something along with it, different things like that. So she's really into that. I'm Darlene Hicks. I'm actually the founder of the library and also volunteer president. We've just come together with the library. I used to work with East Central. I did all the fun testing, state and local testing with the district, and I retired with East Central after 27 years. A number of our volunteers are volunteers that came from, that were teachers or worked with East Central before. So, but we have young adults that are volunteers and different people who just come in and volunteer, and it's wonderful. That's the only way we keep going is our volunteers.
Wow.
And Darlene actually lives in Elmendorf.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was about to ask. I assume.
My parents, well, I have ancestors that came over there from the Canary Islands, but more recently, my parents moved there in '62, and then I grew up there, went away, and came back to live there. So
Awesome. Did you also grow up in Elmendorf?
No, my father was in the military.
Wow.
So I grew up all over the place.
Mhm.
And then when we moved here in 1972, East Central has been my home base since then.
Wow. And so y'all became friends the year that you moved here.
Yes.
We sure did.
Very sweet.
And we've been
Aw.
lifelong friends since then.
That's
yeah,
so cool.
I always tease her because when she came from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and she talked just like that. And then now she came, which I can't even talk like that, but anyway, but I tell her we Texanized her,
Yeah.
so now she doesn't have that accent anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So you mentioned that both of you were involved in the founding of the library, you being the founder and a co-founder. So can you tell us the history of the Elmendorf Community Library and how it all came together?
Well, coming from Elmendorf, Elmendorf had no, of course, internet back when I first moved there, but even as getting older, when the internet became popular, there was none. So we do have free internet for the people to use. The reading, children from there don't have a library. There is not a library. There's one in Floresville, which is about 14 miles away, and one in San Antonio that's about 15 to 16 miles away. So there's no library anywhere nearby. So I felt we needed the library. We needed it for the kids, for everyone, for reading, and then also for the services that we could provide. So I went to city council, asked them about, they had a vacant building, if we could use it. They worked in together with us. They provide lights, electricity, they provide the building, and everything that we use inside is donated free. So, that's how it all came together. Luckily, the city council worked with us, and the people that I knew and loved and forever have all volunteered, because I was only able to be open 2 days a week when I first started. I had to retire for heart conditions, and so I couldn't do it all the time. So luckily, my friends all climbed on board, and so now we're able to be open 4 days a week from 9 to 5.
I think what's special about the library is that everything that Darlene started gathering people, everything's been donated. And really all of our programming and everything we do for our clients that come to the library is basically free.
Mhm.
We run basically off of donations, monetary donations, donations of books, donations of even in-kind work. If somebody, has a job or something that is something that we can benefit from the library, we do that. So the nice thing is that in this community, we saw a need that students didn't always get early intervention as far as reading would go, and that parents were craving to know we have these precious little moms right now, and they have infants, and they just want to know, what can be some things they can do with their infants. How can they stimulate them and their reading? they ask us for things, games, toys,
We have different programs.
activities.
We've had a program
Yes.
before that was early learning, where the ones with the preschools and little bitties could come in, and we would not only read to them, but have them interacting with the parent, grandparent, or whoever. And they
Yeah.
love that. I mean, grandparents, aunts and uncles, all kinds of family members bring them to the library and interact with them and do things with them.
That is
So
so sweet.
that's good.
And so, not to backtrack too much, but what year did the library officially open?
December of 2015.
All right.
So every
Wow.
December 5th, 2015 is our anniversary. So we've been open
Sweet.
for 7 years now.
Mhm.
Very cool.
So-
Wow. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
How cool. And so let's talk about where you're located. You mentioned in a city council's vacant building.
Yes, it
Yeah.
used to be. It used to be back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was a brick factory, Sanger Brick Factory, and so when that closed down, the building was vacant. City Hall took it over. I don't know, beginning of the 2000s, and they had it as their office. And then when they built a new City Hall, that's when the building became vacant, and I snafu'd it. If I had known back in the 1980 something, East Central, well, there was, Elmendorf had its own school, 2-story school, and it had been vacant forever. And finally in 1980s, East Central closed the school down. If I had known then what I knew now, I would have tried to get that building, and we could have had a 2-story huge building.
Yeah.
Now our library is 700 square feet. It's a little small library.
Yeah.
But we make the most for our, we have a children's area, a nonfiction, adult area, a teens area. We have computers and all that they can use. People can come and
Printers.
fax and
We have adults that'll even come in, and we have a little sitting area with some little tables that they'll work on. We've had people do Zoom meetings in the library.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
almost anything somebody needs, we can figure out a way to make it work.
And we
for
do
them.
have a what we call a conference room, that if someone
Sure.
wants to call us and say, can we use your conference room for a
Yes.
meeting, it is available to them.
Awesome. That's
So-
good to know. Okay.
So,
And so, speaking of some of these things that y'all have going on, what do you have at the library to offer the community? We've mentioned some free Wi-Fi. Do y'all have?
they can come and bring,
computers?
we have a lot of people who come and like, do you have a fax machine? Because none of this stuff is anywhere near Elmendorf.
Right.
So they can come and fax, they can scan, they can come, many people come with their phones and they're like, I have a document on my phone that I need to download or I need to print,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to do that. Not only do we have a place that they can do it, but we also many times sit with them with the computers, hook them up, get them set up so that they can actually get whatever they need.
The other thing I've been noticing, and Darlene's 100% correct, we have been printing quite a bit for people, but it's their documents they need now. And I've also noticed that I've had people who need to apply for Social Security. Well, there's only so much you can do on a phone.
Right.
And one was to Massachusetts. So he needed to come in and use the computer, and then we needed to help him. So we do have computers in our library. Like you said, we have a fax machine, printers,
Scanner.
scanners.
If they need, like when they were doing income tax, used to be you could go to your post office and get the forms. You can't do that anymore. So what people will do is come to us, we'll get the forms for them, and then they can print the forms. Or they can
yeah.
sit there and fill it out themselves.
Mhm.
So we're even there trying to help them because a lot of them need help with that too. And they can file their taxes online.
Absolutely. And then that's also not to mention the books. You mentioned you
Oh,
have
yes.
a kids area,
Yes.
good nice space with some tables.
And we've had a number of donations lately. Universal City Library cleared out a number of things, which they cleared out books that were like 1 or 2 years old. They were like brand new books.
Wow.
And they, one of their ladies that works with them wanted to donate $100 to a small library. They thought of us. This is from Universal City all the way to Elmendorf.
Wow.
And so they called us in, said, here's $100 worth, go through and the books were like $1 and $2 a piece. So you figure, okay, we got $200 worth. They not only did that, they cut the price in half so that we got double the amount of books. So we have a number of new books that we have received. We've had a couple of people that have like new books that have recently donated to us. that we've gone through. So we've got a number of new titles, new things that we have going
Awesome.
Great.
And so speaking of some of these new titles, I see you have some here
Right.
that you might show us.
on, right?
What's
We
going
have
on?
we have a number of we have a good section for novels, and so we have ones like this one here by Sally Hepworth. We have a couple of her different books. This one here, this Mad Money. We have a book club. Not only are we all friends and we're all working at the library, we also have a book club that we're all part of that we do.
Yeah.
So we have a number of the books the ladies, as we read from our book club, the ladies will donate one of the books.
Sweet.
So we are
good.
getting more of those. It's where they're new titles, new things that are
Yeah.
that. If you go to the internet, that's
Yeah.
ones that they're doing now.
Great.
We have
a
gotten.
lot of mystery books.
We have a lot of
good
mystery or, who done it type of things.
Yes.
These particular two people, is Isles and Grisham. We didn't know if y'all knew this, but supposedly they started when they started printing books. They were selling both of these authors. Sold their books out of the back of their car. Now you're talking John Grisham. How many
Yeah.
people know that about him?
That's cool.
Or Isles. And so we have a few of their books and even
Yeah.
more.
So one of the things recently we had donated, and we've been craving this, kids now probably from first grade to teens
I was going to say
love
The
Bravo
graphic novels.
They love them. We did not have enough of them, and we got a wonderful donation from Highland Forest Elementary and East Central School District. So we have some new graphic novels for kids. And then I just brought some of the books that we're gonna be doing this summer. We have our first camp we're doing, well, not our first, but one of the camps we're doing is Camping Under the Sea.
Mhm.
And then we have, Camping Under the Sea, and then Camping in the Solar System. So I just brought a few books we have here.
Yeah.
And then we have this real cute, it's all about summer fun. And we'll talk about that when we get to that, but our collection really, for being such a small library, we're blessed to have 2 librarians that actually work in this little library with
And
us.
they volunteer
They
their time.
volunteer.
Mhm.
So
So they have the
we try to
background
keep our
skills.
collection up and.
And we do have a
we-
section of, okay, I want to look at cooking, or I want to look at how to fix a car, or I want to
Yeah.
whatever, a history. We do have a section of that also.
So that
Darlene,
nonfiction.
Darlene just got a wonderful donation too of all Sandra Brown books. So really when, and these books look beautiful, they're like brand new. So once we get really nice donations in, we look to see, okay, what do we want to read? And then what we do
Yeah.
with the books that we don't use anymore, we save them and we donate them, or we'll sell some, and then that just helps us provide
Yeah.
our activities, so.
Right.
Good.
And so, speaking of donations, if folks have books that they want to donate, or even if they have monetary items, craft supplies, anything like that,
Right.
computers, Wi-Fi routers that are old but maybe useful, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Where should they go? How should they go about getting it to you? Or-
Okay, the library itself is located at 203 Bear Avenue, and Bear like the county, Bexar Avenue, Elmendorf, Texas 78112, if you're looking it up on Google. They can also go to our email and let us know that they have them, and we can make arrangements to get them. The email would be elmendorfcommunitylibrary@gmail.com. They can go to our website and they can look at stuff on the website. We'll get into the website a little later. But they can also call me. It's 210-288-7826. And they can call me and we can, make arrangements to get them. If they bring books, like she said, we take the books and we go through them to see what we can use and what we can fit into our small library. What we can't, again, we take a number of them to, like, let's say, half-price books and sell them, and that money gets reused to set up our
Sure.
programs. But we also do, like at our summer programs or different things that we do, we set up a table and either give books away or sell them for 50 cents, a dollar,
Right.
And we're going to have that coming up during the summer different times. We have a large number of books. that we have stacked underneath the desk right now until the event comes up.
We even do bingo for books.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll play games with kids and they
Right.
get to choose books. That
So
like.
they can contact us any of those ways, and bring by. Monetary donations are always nice, yes. In fact, we got one recently that helped us to where we were able to set up the summer programs and buy a few new books.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Buy a few new books and things so that we have that available. So yes, but we do take that. We do take it. We have one of the printers we have. It was a donated printer.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay, good to know.
Mhm.
My next question is going to be about volunteers because you've mentioned this library is 100% volunteer run.
Correct.
So, first question, are there requirements to become a volunteer, like age? Do you need to have graduated high school, things like that?
No, you don't need to have graduated, especially during the summer. You
Yeah.
don't need to have graduated high school. In fact, we had the story, I think I've told you before, we had a young lady who started like her freshman year. She came and she helped us set up the library, and she came every year, volunteered, and then she turned around and this last month graduated from college and became a historical librarian.
That
That
is
is
so
her
cool.
degree.
Aw.
So, no, you don't have to be. It is, we do have adults that come, like when we do have a number of our programs that we're going to do. We do things out in the park in Elmendorf. We did an Easter one. Our thing is, when we set something up, I have these wonderful women who have all these creative ideas. I just tell me what to do. I'm not creative, but they're very creative. They came up with the thing for Easter. So we have no idea when we do it how many people are going to show up. So we figure, okay, we're a small community, 15, 20, 30 kids, maybe. We had over 100 people show up.
Oh my God.
So to have enough workers, to have enough helpers,
Yes.
yes, we need volunteers.
Mhm.
Even in the library. I mean, because there's only a few of us that actually come religiously, we have people that even come a half a day for a month, just a half a day. So when you're doing it like that, it sounds like, oh, you have 10 people, that's great. But when you're spreading it out like that, there's only a couple of us that are there most of the time.
Yeah.
So anytime a volunteer wants to say, I'll come for a day, I'll come for these 2 days, you pick the day you want to come. We don't tell you, you tell us, and then whenever we have, if somebody else is working that day, maybe it gives them a break to go do errands they need to do,
Yeah.
and you can work. So
The other
it
thing,
works out.
I'm sorry, Darlene, the other thing is that we've also had our community reach out to us. Churches have reached out to us, schools reached out. Many students, what they have is community service and they have to gain so many hours to work.
Sure.
So we've had high school students come. We recently, East Central Art, it's not the club, it's a class.
It's an art class.
They made murals for us, a huge
Wow.
alphabet mural.
Which
It's gonna
we'll be
a
installing
blessing.
this
We'll-
next
We'll
month.
take pictures, we'll put it up on the website. But even those students volunteered to come to one of our events. So I think it's really helpful, like Darlene said, for kids, and they were very excited. So we'll take teenagers, we'll teach them, we have young volunteers.
And adults too that, like let's say you need to do some kind of community service hours. And we've had that, we take them, and they can come and we'll fill out their documentation, whatever they need for that. The only requirements that we do have is you do have to fill out a form. Our Elmendorf Police Department has you fill out a form to where they can do a background check.
Right.
And that's because we do have children.
Right.
And so therefore, it has to be something safe. Just like when we have our summer programs going on, we make sure that anyone who's volunteering does fill one of those out, only because since we're around children and around people, we want it to be a safe environment. That was part of our, for our mission statement. We tried to provide, our mission statement reads, a place where people, all ages, races, and economic backgrounds come to learn, enjoy, and open their world to new opportunities in a safe environment. I've had people, young people come that were, maybe the home environment that they had was not safe, or they hang out with people that maybe isn't exactly what you would want them to be with. And when they come into our library, even with their little groups, some of them will come in and some of their language is not appropriate. And it's amazing how you can sit with these kids and just ask them, okay, when you're here, you can come here, bring your games. If some of them bring their gaming systems and they hook up and they download their games and all that, and that's great. And our only thing is when they come, they have to treat each other respectfully and use proper language. And it's amazing, Dave. I've never had anyone not conform. And I've told them, if you can't do that, then please leave and don't come back. I've never had that. They all come back, and their personality and their behavior towards each other changes when they're there. And that's all we ask.
Yeah.
Because we want it to be
they're greeted warmly.
we treat
they're
them
made to feel
respectfully.
comfortable. They give us ideas of things that, because we're all retired.
Yeah, we're
We
not
don't
in
know
this
the
new age.
things.
Sure, yeah.
So they'll give us
Yeah.
insight into things that
Aw.
might appeal
Things that
to
kids
kids
are
that are,
into right
yes,
now.
yes, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds,
Yeah.
they help us.
That's
That's
great.
awesome.
So.
All right, and so speaking of activities, events, what are y'all planning for this summer? That's the big question today.
Okay, our
Yeah.
very first kick it off is going to be June the 10th at 11:45. We're going to hold it in our Elmendorf Park, which has now been renamed Felix Guerra
Oh,
Park.
it's 10 to 11:45.
10 to 11:45,
Okay.
sorry. And it's the address for Felix Guerra Park is 16555 Old Corpus Christi Road, Elmendorf, Texas. What it's going to be the Summer Olympics. So we're going to have things like egg run, beanbag toss, tug of war, and it'll be different little stations set up by age groups, and there will be prizes, there'll be awards, there'll be medals to be
Medals.
won,
Wow.
different things like that. There's going to be 10 different stations.
Wow.
So,
So there are 10 stations out there, but then we also set up under the pavilion
mhm.
because Darlene and I always think, kids love to do things together and love that, but there are some kids who are very shy.
Yes.
So then we do have some things underneath the stations that they
They can
can
just sit
play
and
and
do.
choose.
Yeah.
And
in
then
that
we have
pavilion.
chalk, we have bean bags, we have bubbles, all kind of things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
just,
And maybe for
Right.
like the smaller
Introvert
children who
friendly,
aren't,
yeah.
yes, who can't, we're going to set up bottles and let them do bowling.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe somebody little can't. And we're going to have a couple of different stations, couple different size of bowling pins, so it depends
Yeah.
on their age, different things like that. But it's all activities, it's all free. Now, we may have a couple of vendors who want to come and they might sell like sodas or whatever. And if they do, then that would be whatever you'd be paying for the soda. But as far as our cost to come, a cost to participate, there is nothing.
All right.
I think the only thing we said we were gonna do this date, and that would just be if they wanted to, we're gonna have some books for sale.
Mhm.
that
Sure,
day.
okay.
Yes.
And that same day, when parents come, we noticed when we did the Easter egg, parents came earlier, because the park is really nice. If you haven't been out to that park, your children are going to love it. So we decided we're gonna have some, let them bingo for books at the beginning
Sure.
while we're signing parents up, if they would like to come to our library camps. So we're gonna have library camps throughout the summer, but.
So
we'll
that's
talk
the
to-
next thing,
yeah,
the
that's our
library
next
camp.
big
Oh,
thing.
great.
Yeah.
This will kick that off.
So the library camps we're going to have are going to be for kinder through fifth graders. And then we're also going to, on certain dates, have toddlers that can come. Because we've had, like she said, we have a couple of ladies who have toddlers who've been like, well, what can we come and do with our kids? The toddlers, we ask the parents stay with them when they're there. For the June 10th, the parents would stay with the children while they're doing the Olympics. But for the summer camps, we're going to set it up that if you'd like to come, leave your child, and you can go do an errand for an hour and a half, take a break for an hour and a half, and we will do stuff with your children. We're going to have different camps. June 14th, we're going to do Flag Day. June the 22nd is going to be camping under the sea. July the 10th is camping in the solar system. July 19th, camping in an enchanted forest. August 2nd, robots. August 3rd, camping with the dinosaurs. So, like I say, children, you can go online to our website, which is Elmendorf Community Library .weebly, WEEBLY.com, and you can register. For the camps on those different dates, we're limiting it to 8 people per camp.
Okay.
Only because, again, we're all volunteer, and because we don't know how many, we need to have enough adults to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So this is our first year to do
Wow.
it. If it's successful, next year maybe we'll have it older kids and more time or
So
whatever.
let me talk a little bit of the structure of the camp.
Yeah.
So our camps are going to be from 10 o'clock in the morning to 11:30. And we have planned 2 camps for June, 2 camps for July, and 2 camps for August. And as Darlene has already said, parents can choose to drop their child off at 10 and come back and pick them up at 11:30. We do want parents to know that Melody, one of our volunteers, and myself and Darlene, because we were in the education system, we have been vetted nationally with our
Right,
fingerprints.
yeah.
So we just, as Darlene said, back to our mission statement, we're all about protecting children and having children be in a wonderful, thriving, fun, safe environment. And so that's critical to us.
And everyone who volunteers there to help for those days will do a background check.
So during the camp, what we're gonna do is, of course, there'll be time to read a book, and we'll read and we'll have interactions with these books, and then we're going to do a craft. And not just one craft, we're gonna have several crafts.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter, who's leaving 3rd grade and going to 4th grade, I had her look at some of the crafts just to make
Get her
sure I was
approval.
Yeah.
She's a big, she's a big,
Right.
big space person,
Mhm.
and she's
Sweet.
super excited. We have some slime going on in case you're wondering, glitter slime. We
Yeah.
have some. We're going to make some acrylic paintings. We're super excited about that. The Flag Day, we were looking at the things that Miss Melody is putting on for Flag Day. They're going to do all kind of makings of flags, and then learning about Betsy Ross and creating. So it's just
Yeah.
going to be fun. So we have crafts. We have a story. We have craft. Then we're going to do a snack. Every
Okay.
library will offer some kind of snack. And then we have what we call, which I always think is really important, it's a time that you can have free time. I think sometimes we schedule kids so much, they don't get to explore what they want to do on their own. And Darlene and I both live in the country. We love outdoors, so some of the free things we have are on the outside that you can do painting, and even in one of these camps, they're gonna make mud pies. It's gonna be so much fun. And then they can do things inside and outside. And one of the things we're gonna encourage children to do is choose a book and to read a
Right.
book.
Yeah.
So that's something that sometimes is sad to us. We do have some children, and it breaks our hearts, they come to the library and they'll tell us right away they don't like to read.
They don't like books.
And they don't like
to read.
books, they don't like to read, and we're gonna encourage get back to the love of reading. It's not about a worksheet, it's not about struggle, it's just about finding joy in the books.
Yeah.
So
And we
That's
do
important.
during the summer, we do a book bingo, which is, they take a bingo card home, and on the card it'll say, and it's the traditional bingo cross up and down. It may say, read a book in your pajamas, read a book under a tree, read whatever. And as they do those things, and for the younger ones, it could be mom reads them a book under the tree, whatever.
Yeah.
And we have different cards for different age groups. When they get their bingo, then they bring the bingo card back to us and they get a prize.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
That sounds-
And it's gonna go back to the medals as we're kicking off
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
They can earn a gold medal, silver medal, or a bronze medal with their reading.
Great.
Okay, cool.
So-
Okay.
We're super excited.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
And
as you can tell.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of
Yeah.
excitement going on, and like you said, volunteers are welcome to help at your separate
Please.
events.
Yes.
So reaching
Yes.
out to y'all
Yes.
with the number and the information you already gave.
And the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Right.
email. And then we have another little thing going on during the summer, and this is just a little side thing. We had a volunteer who's made these little hearts. And on the little hearts it says, help me find a home. And then it says, I found a quilted heart, and it has our website. So what you do, and I'm going to give each one of these ladies one,
Cute.
and I'm going to ask them somewhere in Floresville
Mhm.
to put this heart out. It's going to be out there somewhere.
Okay.
So, and we invite all of you to come to our library and pick up a heart, and you take it somewhere and place it. And that then when the person finds it, they'll go to the website and they'll say where they found your heart. And then you can go on, if you can kind of like, you even put maybe on the back, put a little thing or write something on here like give your heart a name. And then when they go on the website and say they found your heart, they can say which one they found. And then you can go on the website and you can look at it and see, did your heart get found?
Mm-hmm.
It's
that's
one,
cool.
it's one of the things we've been talking a lot about. Many of us, we said, work in school. Many of us were former educators, and this whole idea of kindness and connecting back to people. So many people feel alone and lonely, and they can be in a crowd and feeling alone and lonely. And we want them to know that there's a place that cares about them before they even get there, that has a heart for them, and where they're going to be treated kindly. And it's just what we believe in.
Yeah, this
So
is a
we do
physical
invite
representation
you.
of that heart.
Yes, it's just wonderful. We're super excited about this.
Yeah.
That's great.
I
That
did
is so
see too,
sweet.
we're probably out of time, but I did see, and I was telling Darlene, I saw one community, I think it was in the northeast or west in Oregon, and they actually did the same thing with books. So if this
Wow.
keeps on fire,
Mm-hmm.
You
we
might
might
trust
be able to
people with
talk.
the books. Yeah.
Well, what I was thinking is with our book, we have this, like she said, book club. If we could get 2 books donated, then maybe one could be that, and then we could hide books in the community for people to find.
Oh, speaking of hiding books in the community, we do have at that Felix Guerra Park, the Girl Scout troop wanted to do one of their projects, and they chose the project of setting up one of the leave a book, take a book. And so
Little
we
free
have
library.
one of those little kiosks in our park, and you can come there, bring a book, take a book,
Yes.
and the book is yours after you take it.
Awesome.
Alright.
So little free library.
And
It's
it's
great.
by the Girl Scout troop did that, and
Mhm.
they're keeping it up for
Yeah.
the next 2 years.
Great.
Awesome. Okay, so 2 questions before we wrap up today's conversation, because we are pretty
Mhm.
much at time. But, one, do you need a library card to check out books or participate in any of these activities, and how do you get one?
Okay.
And then 2, where to go for more info.
All right. You don't need a library card. I've made up some little library card type of things that I may just give people this summer. But we started out with library cards and people never would remember them or don't remember the number. So you fill out a form and it assigns you a library number.
Okay.
We put your information into our system. When we do, then all you have to do is come in and give your name,
Mhm.
and it pulls you up, and you can check out books, do whatever.
Great.
And
But you
that's
don't
free.
have to be a member of the
No.
library to participate, and the
No,
library
not at
can't
all.
just
You're gonna
come
check
down
Or
out
you
to
don't
the
have to
tent.
live in Elmendorf. I mean,
Right.
it can, you
Yes.
can. We have people who've
Mhm.
come from New Braunfels, from Floresville, from I mean, a lot of different places.
Great.
I'm like, how do you find us? So,
Mhm.
and a lot of them find us, like they say, because they go online, and if you type in your phone, on your computer, Elmendorf Community Library, all the sources will come up. It'll show you on Facebook, it'll show you the website, all of that, just by putting in Elmendorf Community Library.
Great.
All right. Well,
So.
thank y'all so much
Mhm.
for sharing about your summer fun. We're gonna have to check out those Summer Olympics
Yes.
and see what
Well,
all
I
these
was
kiddos
even
are
thinking
doing.
if you wanted, we always try to take pictures. I'm horrible about that, but if we try to take
Yeah.
pictures,
Yeah.
maybe we can send you
Get 'em
some
for
with some
these
kind of a little
years.
thing
We do have
letting
a
you know what
volunteer
happened.
Please
and-
do.
So.
Yes, we'd love to share that.
Oh yeah, we got to see that.
And if y'all attend any of these activities and take your own photos, you can always share your community news with reader at WCN-online.com for possible publication.
Yeah.
So that's if you're going out to a community event, if you're celebrating a fun family big anniversary, you take a trip and you
Yeah.
bring your newspaper with you.
That's right.
Anything like
We
that,
love
we'd
to share
love to
community
share.
news. Mhm.
Yes, and so thank y'all for sharing with us today.
No, thank
what's
you for
going
having
on.
us.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And y'all will have to come look for these hearts. We
Right.
now
See
have
where we're
3
going to
that'll be
leave
in
these.
Floresville.
Mhm.
So
I don't
you'll
want
have
to
to
leave
come on the
mine.
scavenger. It's so pretty.
If you can get away from
Yeah.
them.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Great.
So.
And so thank you both so
Thank
much
you.
for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank y'all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed today's talk. If you have folks who have little kids looking for
Mhm.
fun summer activities, maybe are interested in doing some of these camping themed library camps.
Or even teenagers who want to come and do stuff with us,
Volunteer,
volunteer,
hang out,
read books, hang out, bring, you know.
play games.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
We even have
Definitely share.
puzzles if somebody wants to check out puzzles. We have
Oh,
puzzles.
cool.
Good.
Yeah.
We have a lady who does, a couple of ladies who
Yeah.
come do that.
That is so cool.
They check out our puzzles and take them home.
Nice.
Well, as we're saying, share with
Great
your friends
resource.
and family members interested in this kind of stuff. Be sure to reach out to the community library in Elmendorf. Check
Please.
them out online. Again, Googling Elmendorf Community Library. And last but not least, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Price Chrysler Dodge Raymond Jeep, for sponsoring today's conversation. They are hiring for all positions. I know we mention it almost every time, but they are hiring. They've got sales, service, all kinds of areas. So you're looking at awesome careers with them. And you can also look at cars while you're there.
Mhm.
So visit them on Highway 181 South in Floresville. It's before you hit Walmart going into Floresville. You can also visit them online at pricecdrj.com. And as always, thank you all so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you back again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. for another conversation.
Great.
All right.
Thank you,
See
ladies.
ya.
Thank you.
Thank you.